You remember when we were younger and we were like, "Oh my gosh, I got this new toy," and you got to play with it, and you rip it open there, and you're just that actually kind of fades away, right? So the same thing happens in business, and we'll kind of explain how that relates. Actually, good example here. I've got a safe down I got for Christmas that was 25 days ago, and I haven't even opened it, and I'm super excited to have it. I've wanted it for 2 years, and finally got it. But time like time frames my baby right now, and my main focus is the agency and the channels and the marketing, and honestly I've never worked as hard as I work now, but it's going to pay off. Honestly, it's going to by far pay off. The more work, if you focus it, is going to definitely pay off. And I had a conversation with my partner today to where he's like, I understand you. I get it. He's like, yes, you're a perfectionist, but you have to like dive in and twist the algorithm and look at the emails and build the things and like touch all of the pieces to see it function, and you have to have it in a certain scenario which deletes your time. It literally like completely erases it. So much so that I just made a video for our Valor brand that I made today. Like I just recorded it right before this, and then I got to edit it and put it up because I used my Monday for tech stuff. So if you're in insurance and you start to hire a team, just know that there's those pieces. And we kind of talked about that last week with the overwhelm, right? I think we called it overhead is putting stress on my business. That's a good video. I'll link it at the end. But it's like, okay, how much stress can you handle? How much things can you do? And a lot of you might even comment, I've seen on social media, that you should have a social media manager doing social media. You should be focusing on what you're good at, which is sales. And I agree, but you got to remember, not everyone can afford a social media manager. We actually have one now. We pay a few dollars, so we pay some dollars for that. I'm not going to share it because I'll maybe one day put her information out here. But we've got a manager that does the social media for us, and to a point they do a video a day or some sort of post a day, so that it's actually like coming in the office, recording us. We're trying to get some quirky things, and we're trying to learn together. I'm showing her some of the things I know, and she's using some of the skills she has. So it's kind of like a mix of everything, which is perfect, and it's kind of pulling me out. But I don't disagree with my partner because I had to dive into that first. I have to understand how it works and functions. And that's kind of where we're a little bit stuck right now, is I'm stuck on these quote forms. If you aren't aware, I own the Think Insurance brand on YouTube here, and I actually built it for kind of a lead generation system. It's where I can connect customers with agents. And what that is 300 to 400 quotes a month, which is a ton. I keep the Michigan ones for myself. My partner is actually licensed in Virginia and a couple other states, so we kind of give him those leads to work. That way we have something that like keeps us active every day. The problem that I keep running into is, once again, it's not that I'm overwhelmed with stuff. It's just I've done so much stuff and you've got too much to do. Is you've got to remember that at the end of the day, you have to put time into what you're good at. That's kind of what the Facebook posts say, right? It's focus on the things that you're going to do good at. And I'm really good at sales. I connect with people almost instantly within the first 5 minutes, and I've got ways to get people to talk, and just kind of my natural personality. When we've kind of put it into a script for ourselves and our agents that we have come on board and stuff like that. But it's like I'm also really good at social media, and I'm also good at that. The jack of all trades is a master of none, but I've mastered a ton of them. And if you're in the same situation where you're like, I think I can master this, I encourage you to do so. You've really got to hone in on what you're good at. If you're good at networking with people, you're going to beat us all, because networking, honestly, is the end game for most insurance agencies. That is the perfect scenario or storm for getting business. If you can meet with people, go to coffee, build relationships, get that solid long-term base, is going to be better than, not necessarily better than the YouTube channel. It can compete on a different level. The types of customers that you're going to get from the center of influences that you're going to connect with, once you start to learn that you only connect with center of influences that you think are a good fit for your brand or your agency, then it's more powerful. Right now, I have a Think Insurance brand to where I get tons of leads coming in, and then I filter them out. And I try to get them to the right agents, and I take them all and work with them as long as they're willing to kind of be knowledgeable as far as like, do they get it, want it, and need it? We've talked about that. And if they fit those standards and they're open to talking, then we have a conversation. Sometimes they put fake information in, and I now realize why we get all this fake information in lead vendor. That's what I mean as far as like the management of everything. There's a ton of stuff that you should focus on. But if you're new and you're just starting off, you need to focus on the main point, which is, for you, is selling. If you have people under you, just get ready. There's a ton of stuff. We're actually finally found what I hope to be is our last phone system that we can grow into. So for $70 a month for the first line, and then it's $50 a month for the additional lines, we're going to pay a pretty penny for that. And it's on top of the CRM system that we already have in place. A cost of a seat for an agent is a lot more if you go down the tech road, if you go down this piece. And it's not just cost, because yes, it's, let's say it's $60 for the phone. You're probably paying $60 or more a month for your CRM. You're paying at least $200 to $250 a month for your AMS software. So you're talking what, $6, $12, $370 just for the technology. That's not even the time it puts into building it, creating it, making the forms, making everything function. Some of these things are things we've done over the last couple of years that have brought us to the place we're at now. All in all, I think honestly a good $1,000 to $1,500 per agent per seat is a good cost. If you have an office, now you've got $500-ish per room if you're going to put them in a room, or you rent a space and you put cubicles in. But now you've got to spend thousands of dollars on the cubicles and or get them used, and like if you don't create the environment, they're not going to want to stick around, and you got to pay them, and there's just like all those pieces. I'm not trying to overwhelm you with the things, but I'm just saying the cost of that doesn't necessarily just take cost. It takes time, investment. And that's where things like the safe is not opened, and family time is more important, because I would rather say goodnight to my kids or be home and be around family before I would open the safe. It's not literally, by the way, it's not literally a safe. It's not metaphorical. I'm going to see if I can show you here. It's actually in a box. It's a safe in a box. So I haven't opened the actual box to get the safe out. I guess what I come back to is, you should join this industry. If you haven't joined the insurance industry, it is powerful. Is there a risk of us all being kind of useless in the future? There is. That's kind of like one of those possibilities where technology could take our positions. That's where my theory is. We'll do another video on that, but there's a theory. Subscribe to the channel if you want that. I'll probably stop recording in a minute and then make that next, just so you guys have it. But I think there is a point to where we will be kind of phased out in a way. But there is so much need for a knowledgeable insurance agent. For someone that's willing to do the small things first, which is very difficult for me. I've actually had investments with my partners, and we've put in the money up front to build it so that we can afford to do the way that we want to do it. Because honestly, if we were to do it again, I would there's a good chance I would go back and not invest as nearly a tenth of what we've invested, and just focus on the sales part of it. Because I'm good at sales, I could buy leads, don't hire anyone, it's just me, it's my partner, they're buying leads, we're spending $3,000 a month. And that $3,000 a month, or let's say $4,000 a month, buys us 10 leads a day each person, and we're calling those leads, and we're going out and COIing, and we're going out and doing the legwork. We could build where we are, or at least half of where we are, on our own, hand by hand. And then once you've gone 2 to 3 years and you've got several renewals coming back in the door, now we can afford to expand that. The trouble that you're going to run into, and this is what we found instantly when we started doing this, is the time involvement. Unless you can hire someone to start building it and let someone else build the castle, and you just manage the building of the castle, that might be beneficial. So you take the hit on the income, you have them build it, and then you're all said and done. No stress, or there's stress, but no tech stress and no knowledge learning, and you're just learning pieces of it. So I think honestly, if I were to go back and do it again, I probably would start there and just start building a book, building a foundation, building a customer base, and then a reputation. And that reputation would expand into video content, doing interviews like we're doing different marketing pieces that we're doing, and doing all of those like side pieces that will grow the brand more. And it's scalable if you have processes put in place, but it's not necessarily required today. The focus should be sales, should be getting better at that, learning the coverage, learning the different paths, not bouncing from thing to thing. I've got people I watch online and I literally see them do something different every week. And I don't get it. They're not learning the coverage either because they're writing just basic policies and not actually benefiting anything. It's almost like you get excited in this part of it, this business building part of it, this watching people and doing that piece of it, that you don't actually go out and do it. Go do it. That's where I'm at today. If you guys are interested, I'm going to make a couple more videos. So the 2 videos that are going to come next is going to be more training related. So if you want to learn the forms that I use, the custom forms that I built, it's actually the one I did for Think Insurance. We still use it today in our Valor brand. We actually mimicked it. And it was free. It's literally free for the first like 300 or 400 through this website. I think it's Cognito. And I'll put a link in it on that video. But it's a free form that you can build. It's got these super cool options, like if they say this, then don't let this form show up. If they say this, then refer this over here. And there's all these like pieces that you can do, and it costs nothing. So that's one thing that I like. Let me know if you guys are interested in either of those. If you are, put a comment below or give me a thumbs up. If not, give me the thumbs down so I know not to make those extra videos and just kind of leave them out of the mix. If you want to learn more insurance type stuff, if you're trying to get more training, let me know in the comments, because honestly, this is supposed to be my journey and I don't really want to turn it into like me just making content for agents. Not that I don't want to do that. We actually will eventually, in a couple years, be doing that when we decide to grow. If that's the decision that we get to, we'll probably do something like an insurance agent's playbook type business where we actually show you how our brand was built. But we're in the middle of it. We're mixing it and we're building it. So there's following the journey to see that happen. But once it gets to that point, then it's already going to be built and we're going to show other people how to do it. So we're going to actually kind of have managers or branch managers come in, or whatever we decide. If it's a 1099, a franchise, or a branch manager, we're leaning towards the manager part where they can come in and run their own agency sub under our wing. But those are things that we're working on, right? And they're going to be available soon, but honestly, we're not going to market it and try to push it out there. That's kind of just going to be as the need comes and as people see us being successful that want to stay in the insurance industry and want to build their own version of it. We're processing everything out. So we'll have here's exactly what we did. Here's how we did it. Here's the steps you can take. How much can we invest into it? And let's show you how to focus and channel that to be successful quicker than we were. Anyways, that's probably too much for my personal stuff. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. If that's interesting, anything that you guys want to know or questions that you have being new or seasoned in the industry, I'd love to hear the feedback. I'm Mark W. Flockhart. I'll see you soon.